Hi, this is Torin Talks, and this is my review of Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode number 6, Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. Alright, so in Braavos, you have Arya in the House of Black and White. She's cleaning these bodies, and she's kind of over it, you know. She wants to know why she's doing what she's doing. The Wave tells her a story about her family, and she grew up a High Lord's daughter. He remarried, and the stepmom was a Weoch and tried to get rid of her, and that's how she ended up, you know, serving the many-faced god. That is actually taken from the book that is Wave's backstory. Arya gets to play the Game of Faces, and she's not very good because Jaqen H'ghar can tell every time that she's telling a lie. It was particularly interesting when Arya got to the part about the Hound and how she said she hated him, and he was like, you know, that's a lie. And I think somewhere along the way she did hate him at first, but it turned kind of into a mutual respect because he was a weird kind of father figure person in her life. And I think that she's kind of lying to herself about like how she kind of felt about him, you know, in that regard. So this guy comes in with his daughter, and she's really sick. He explains to Arya about how he's been to all these different healers and no one's been able to heal his daughter. So Arya talks to her, and I think before when she was playing the Game of Faces, she was getting hit because it wasn't because she was lying, it wasn't because she was lying convincingly. Arya talks to the little girl and tells her like, yeah, I was just like you in pain, but the water healed me and you don't want to suffer anymore. You know, she really sold this little girl on, you know, drinking this water, and the girl did, and obviously it was the gift, and the girl was dead. And Jaqen watched how she handled all of this, and he thought it was time for her to enter the Hall of Faces, and that shot was just amazing. It looked so cool. It's even better than what I thought it would look like in the books, and there's all these other hallways and stuff, so you know there's probably like tons of other rooms or maybe even other face rooms in the House of the Black and White, and it was just a really, really cool scene to see, and oh, it just looked so good. And he told Arya she's not ready to become no one yet, but she is ready to become someone else. So I think they're going to send Arya on her first mission, and I am super excited about it. Next, we have Jorah and Tyrion, and Tyrion finally explains to Jorah what the hell he's doing on the other side in Essos to begin with. He's telling him about how he killed Tywin and that whole deal, and he said, you know, like, at least your father's like not a scumbag. He kind of inadvertently tells Jorah about Gior's death when the mutineers killed him like a bunch of cowards, and I kind of felt bad. I felt really bad for Jorah because he never got a chance to like make that right, because his father abdicated his seat as the Lord of Bear Island to go to the Wall so Jorah could be the Lord of Bear Island, and Jorah screwed that up by, you know, getting with that Hightower chick, and all that went awry, and he was selling slaves and just this whole deal. Then he ended up becoming like a double agent. Then he gets exiled from Dany, and I know that he's thinking about like all these sucky ass life decisions he's made, and now he's not even gonna get to have that catharsis with his father. So that was kind of a bummer. And a lot of people I know that watched the show who haven't read the books, they didn't really connect that, I think, fully, that Jorah Mormont and Jeor Mormont are father and son, let alone related. So that was kind of cool. And previously they kind of tied all that in together, and I thought that was really neat. I also love the conversation that Tyrion and Jorah had about Daenerys, and how, you know, he's like, you're following them, you don't know if she's going to be a good ruler. You know, Targaryens go crazy all the time, and she's never even spent one day of her adult life in Westeros, and she wants to be the ruler. Tyrion's asking the real questions, like, he has no connection or attachment to Daenerys as Jorah does, so he's looking at it from a strictly third-party outsider perspective. It's like, what qualifications do you have to rule Westeros? Which is a valid question. Just because your dad was a king doesn't mean you should be king. I mean, look at Joffrey. His supposed father, you know, Robert Baratheon, was king, and we all saw how it turned out when Joffrey was king. You know, that's why we got all this chaos going on. Still probably have these people because of the stuff that Joffrey did when he was king. So just because your father's king doesn't mean you should be king or that you're gonna be a good one. They are, talking, and these pirates come up, and one of them is played by, I know on Lost he's Mr. Echo, but no, he's Adebisi from Oz, and I was just like, oh crap, it is about to go down. Like, Adebisi is is on the set, on the scene. Like, yeah, I knew he was gonna be nobody to play with, and I was absolutely right. It was kind of funny about the whole deal with Tyrion and his cock and all that deal, but I don't know if they threw it in for the comedy's sake or if people in Essos really believe that it brings you good luck. I think that's so funny. So I don't know if there's a cock merchant, but it's definitely an interesting theory to wonder about. Littlefinger gets to King's Landing, and I have to say this because it has been irritating me hearing it online, and everyone says, oh, Littlefinger, he must teleport or have a dragon, because he got there super quick. Like, you don't know how much time spans between an episode. It's not, you don't know if it's a day. Sometimes you can tell because people will be wearing the same thing or the same thing will be going on, but it could have been weeks. It could have been weeks between when Littlefinger left Sansa in Winterfell to now. It's plausible. I'm not saying that it's truly accurate, but still, and it's a TV show. Like, really, that's the thing you're gonna complain about? Like, how fast he got to King's Landing? Like, give me a fucking break. So anyway, Littlefinger gets there, and he has an interesting conversation with Lancel, and I think he's kind of trying to tell him, like, I don't understand how Lancel can be a hypocrite and try to persecute all these people, in the name of the Seven when he was, banging his cousin. So I don't know how he justifies that. Littlefinger talks to Cersei, and she is just not having any of it. I feel like she is just losing her mind every time I see her more and more. Because he is making a lot of good points. Because right now, the Lannisters are not in the position that they once were in. Like, Tywin is dead, and so all the sharks smell blood, and they are coming in. They also, in the show verse, have run out of gold. In the books, they haven't, but in the show, they have. Their mines are dried up. The Lannisters do not have any more gold. The Tyrell, that essentially makes the Tyrells the most powerful, richest family in Westeros. They have the biggest army, they have the biggest land, they have the most money, and they really didn't take a lot of hits during the war. Like, none of their people are, dead. Like, you got Jaime doesn't have a hand. Lancel, he's doing his, Fate to the Seven deal. Not that he was a factor anyway. Tyrion's across the Narrow Sea, and, he hates everybody that's a Lannister. And Tywin's dead. So, you really don't have any allies. You really don't have any play, which is why she armed the Faith Militant. But at the same time, it would have been way easier to try to get the Tyrells on your side and then, hatch your little evil plan than to kind of just be this bold, like, Cersei, she showed all her cards way too early. And I think that's what Littlefinger was trying to get her to realize. But Littlefinger also told her that Sansa was in Winterfell. And, he's been having Sansa this whole time. So is he trying to set Sansa up? Or I feel like he is playing Sansa and Sansa's a pawn in his game. And once Sansa figures this out, then I feel like she will go after Littlefinger. I hope that happens. Because he is just, nobody's playing the game as hard as Littlefinger. I'll tell you that much. And he was telling her the same thing I said. The Tyrells are rich. They have an army. They're your only ally. Why would you alienate them? They're feeding the city. Why would you ostracize these people? If they decide to pull all their stuff, what are you going to do? But, Cersei doesn't hear that. She's just all raged out when she hears that Sansa's gonna marry Ramsay, and that's all she's, she says, I'm gonna flay them like that wretch on their sigil, which I thought was an awesome line. Like, I love Lena Headey. She she makes me, I can't stand Cersei, but at the same time, I love her because she is perfection. Lena Headey's so good as Cersei Lannister. And then we have Olenna and Cersei. And, you know, Olenna gets there, she's talking to Marjorie, like, you know, you go sit down, you look tired, like, let me handle, you know, Cersei Lannister. And I thought it was hilarious how she, as soon as I saw her writing with the pen and Olenna was kind of doing the finger tap, it reminded me of Tywin. And not only did he do that to Tyrion, he did it to Cersei as well. And she came in and was asking him about what he's going to do about Jaime being missing, I think back in like season 2 or 3. Did the same deal, like I'm busy, like when he told her, you know, it's not that I don't trust you because you're a woman, I don't trust you because you're not as smart as you think you are. I think that flashback comes into play here as well, or that little parallel comes into play here, because that is exactly the sentiment that I'm getting from this scene with her and Olenna, that Olenna is like, you are not as smart as you think you are, you just basically, like, you're an idiot. And Olenna's not having any of Cersei, like, she is not having it today. You know, she basically straight up said, like, you're a whore. She was like, if we take all our gold, our wheat, our troops from House Tyrell, you know, you're gonna be up the creek without a paddle, so you don't want to piss me off, basically. And Cersei's like, oh, you know, your veiled threats, and Olenna's like, what veil? Like, Olenna is just G. She is just, you know, like, it is what it is. Like, yeah, bitch, what you gonna do? And, I mean, Cersei is justifying her Tyrell paranoia because, unbeknownst to her, it wasn't Tyrion that killed Joffrey. It was the Tyrells. So, they are a threat to her children, obviously. They already bumped one off. Loras denies everything about Renly, denies that he's gay. He denies. Then they call Marjorie to make a statement. She denies everything. Then Oliver, you know, the prostitute that worked at Littlefinger's brothel, comes in and he's all smug. And I don't know why he's super smug, because I'm like, did he make some kind of deal? Like, if I testify against him, I'm immune, or, you know, whatever. I don't know what that deal is, but it's kind of like, I wouldn't be happy, because if I admit it, they're going to just do me too. Like, whatever they're going to do to him, I'm going to get it too. So I don't know why he was so happy. Cersei's little fake outrage, like, how dare you accuse House Tyrell, you know, and they're just looking at her like, really, bitch. And the birthmark that was just kind of seemed pointless and a couple of episodes ago finally paid off, you know, Chekhov's birthmark or whatever. And so Loras loses it and just lunges at the dude. They take him away, and they're like, wait, what? Marjorie, you know, lying is just a big offense. Is anything else? You're coming in the clinky too. So they take Marjorie, put her in jail too, and she's, you know, like, Tommen, you know, like, what the hell, like, you gonna do something? And Tommen is just useless as tits on a board, you know, like, he just is too weak, like, he can't do anything, he's just a kid, and I've been saying that every episode almost, like, he's just a kid, and this is just, like, the stamp, like, this kid is nothing, no kind of king at all. The look that Olenna gives Cersei when they take Marjorie and Loras away, like, Lena Headey's look is kind of like, yeah, like, ha ha ha. But Olenna's look is death. Like, Olenna is gonna be out for blood. Like, she already bumped off one of your kids. Like, do you really want to tangle with this old lady? Like, Olenna is coming for Cersei, and she's gonna be coming hard. And so that, I can't wait to see. So now we're gonna get to my least favorite part of, well, yeah, that was even better than that, because at least I had good acting. Yeah, so my least favorite part of the episode was the Dornish stuff. I did like Tristan and Maricella's little kind of teenage little love deal going on. That fight scene, you know, and I was trying not to be critical of the Sand Snakes because everyone just dumped on them after they saw them the first time, which I thought was pretty unfair because they were on screen for all 3 minutes and everyone was like, oh my god, they ruined the franchise, like they ruined the whole series, you know, and it's just like, really? So, for me though, it wasn't even that their portrayal is bad. It was just things that just didn't make sense. Okay, why are they sneaking around the water gardens like they're some infiltrators? They're Oberyn's daughter. It seemed like everybody there would know who they are. It's not like Oberyn was secret about anything. So why wouldn't everyone in Dorne, especially those that are around the royal family or noble family, and they would know who they are? Like, really? You're sneaking around like a ninja in your own house? Doesn't make sense. Second, the movements in this fight scene were bad, and everybody keeps comparing it to Xena, and it's like, no, at least Xena had like some baller moves. Like, Xena did some balls out stuff that was kind of cool. This is Power Ranger bad. Like Power Rangers first season beating up some putties bad. Like, this was that, and I don't understand. Like, I rather than had just got some stunt doubles where you just see nothing but their eye, put the thing all the way up, and just let them just go at it. Because, I know the guy that plays Jaime and the guy that plays Bronn, they always do really good in fight scenes. Like, the fight scene with Jaime and Ned, Brienne, whoever he's had a fight scene with, it's always really nice. Same for Bronn, so I don't know what this was. And I think they were trying to overcompensate for the girls' maybe lack of skill or choreography. I don't know, but it was very bizarre. The movements were just delayed and awkward, and I didn't appreciate it. And then, everyone keeps ragging on Obara. Like, her monologue in the first time we see the Sand Snakes, I can forgive it. But for her, when Ariel Hota and all the other guards come in to stop this fiasco from going down of them taking Myrcella away, she says, "I'm the daughter of Oberyn Martell, I fight for Dorne." First of all, you think your uncle doesn't know whose daughter you are? You think he doesn't know that you fight for Dorne? Like, no, really? You fight for Dorne? Oh, I'm so shocked. It was redundant, and I wish they just would have gave them something else to. She didn't even have to say anything. She could have just been like, "You guys aren't gonna do anything," and they killed your prince. Like, if she would have said that would have even been better than, just her saying she's Oberyn's daughter, because we know that. Everyone knows that, especially the people that you're talking to. They're in Dorne. You think they don't know who the hell you are? So, I didn't understand that. And I don't know if that's just bad writing, then at least a bad acting, or I just think that just was not my favorite. Finally, get to the north and Winterfell and Sansa. So Miranda comes in, she wants to draw Sansa a bath to get her all ready for her wedding day. And she comes in there and she tries to tell Sansa about all these women that Ramsay, fucked up in the past. And Sansa's just like, you know what? Like, I'm Sansa of Winterfell. Like, you're not gonna scare me in my own house. Like, get out of here, bitch. I was so happy. I was rooting for Sansa. I was like, yes, stand up and you take control of the situation and you take charge of the situation. Once Miranda left, you could see that she was really scared. Like, she held it in until, like, that chick left and she was just like, whew, whew. Sansa looked beautiful. I love that dress. She looked so pretty. I really love the way it looked. It almost looked like a funeral dirge. It didn't look like a very happy, joyous occasion. Like, everyone looked grim as fuck, but I mean, that just could be because they're in the north and everyone looks like that. Or, everyone was just kind of bummed out because nobody wanted to participate like Sansa didn't, like Reek didn't. The only person that was like jazzed about it was fucking Ramsay. So I love the part when Reek Theon was giving Sansa away, and he was saying that he was the ward of her father, Ned Stark. When the Starks took Theon in, they didn't have to be nice to him. They could have treated him like a douche. But Ned didn't. He raised him right. He raised him like one of his own kids, like, it isn't like they made him sleep in the kennels like he's doing now. And for him, I think he just realizing like how royally he just fucked up. And so we get to the part, where they gotta go to the bedroom and do the do. And I know a lot of people were upset about this. And my opinion on it, I didn't want Sansa to get anything else happen to her, because she's been through it. Like, she survived Joffrey, she did all that, and now she's back with another psycho. Sansa knew when she went to Winterfell and he said she was going to marry Ramsay, it was not going to be like Tyrion, okay? It just wasn't. Anybody that thinks that it was is fooling themselves. It's Ramsay, okay? All the stuff we've seen him do, let's see. Tortured Theon and cut off his genitals. Fed a chick to the dogs. Flayed a whole bunch of Ironborn and other stuff. So this dude obviously doesn't have regard for human life, safety, or any of those kind of things. So why do you think that Sansa would be any different? Like, I wouldn't trust Ramsay with anything. Like, not a dog, cat, a little fly. He'd probably pull all his wings off and torture the fly. Like, he is just someone that he's sadistic. If you think this is gonna have a happy ending, you're not paying attention. Like, it was gonna go there. As soon as they said Sansa's going to the north I was like, oh gosh. Like, at least she's not dead. So that means Sansa can come back from this. Like, Sansa can. I don't feel like this happening to her makes her weak, because when it happened to Daenerys in season 1, first of all, there wasn't all this outrage, so everybody can kind of like get their life with that. And secondly, it made Daenerys stronger, because she was like, I can keep letting this happen to me, or I can take the power. I can control this. And I think that's what Sansa's gonna have to do. We don't know. Next time we see her, she might be pretending like she's crying and she's drying her tears like, yeah, did that. You don't know what's gonna happen. And I don't think that they would bring Sansa this far just to make her a victim all over again. I think that she's not that same little kid that went to King's Landing, with stars in her eyes dreaming about Joffrey. I feel like now she is playing the game. And she knows sometimes when you play the game, you gotta do the dirty deed. Not that you're gonna like it, and not that it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get what you want. She wants to reclaim what is hers and what belongs to her family, and to do that and have her revenge. And to do that, she's gonna have to play the game. That is it for my Game of Thrones Episode 6 review, and I will see you in my next video.